What's happening, everybody? Trey here, and today at Reactions to the Classics, I'm going to be reacting to Bill Withers' record Just As I Am. Going to be throwing it back to the 70s, getting a little soul action up in here, which is a bit underrepresented on the channel. So I want to shout out our longtime friend and patron of the channel, Brian, for suggesting this one for us to dive into today. I know Brian discovered this record himself for the first time in the past year or two and really loves it, so I'm excited to get to experience it myself for the first time. I only know a couple of the biggest Bill Withers hits, Ain't No Sunshine, which is of course on this record, and so I really love that song, and I'm excited to check out what else Bill has in store. But all that to say, man, let's just get a little primer on Bill Withers' career before we jump into the record itself. So if you don't know, Bill Withers was an American singer-songwriter and musician, had several hits over a 15-year career, including Ain't No Sunshine, Grandma's Hands, Use Me, Lean on Me, Lovely Day, and Just the Two of Us. He won 3 Grammy Awards and was nominated for 6 more, and is inducted into the Songwriters Hall of Fame in 2005 and the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2015. He had 8 records. He left the Navy in 1965, relocating to Los Angeles in 67 to start his career. His debut release was 3 Nights in a Morning in 1967. Arranged by Mort Garson, the song went unnoticed at the time, but was later reworked by Withers as the track Harlem, which opens this record. So a bit of an interesting backstory right there. Withers worked as an assembler for several different companies, including Douglas Aircraft Corporation, IBM, and Ford, while he was recording demo tapes with his own money, shopping them around, and performing in clubs at night. When he returned with the song Ain't No Sunshine in 71, he refused to resign from his job because he believed the music business was a fickle industry, and he probably knew how, especially back then, man, how much the companies took advantage of the artists, and how much money, was left after, the big brother got their cut, so to speak, man. So quick facts on this record. This was his debut, released in 1971. Booker T. Jones produced, arranged, and played keyboards and guitar on the album, so I'm looking forward to that. Legendary Booker T. Jones went to 39 in the US, 37 in Canada, and is 304 on Rolling Stone's top 500 albums of all time. All tracks here written by Bill Withers, except where we note. Due to copyright, won't have the full album in here, but you can check out the Vimeo link, which is in the description, and you can have the full reaction with the music uncut in there. And as always, man, gonna have the lyrics pulled up, and excited to get into this one, man. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, it's Just As I Am. And we were just speaking of it, and we're going now to the single Harlem. So let's get this one underway. Thanks again to Brian, and let's go. All right, Harlem kicking us off with a bang right here. I guess I'll start with the musicianship, where you were just kind of bombarded at the start with that drum beat that really kept the foundation of the music, as obviously drums often do. But I thought that mixed with the string arrangement was a really well done touch, and not something that maybe on paper you'd think would kind of mash up well together. But I thought it was really well done, and the pace seemed to kind of ramp up as the song went on a little bit, and Withers describes this Harlem setting, and he doesn't leave anything back either on this. He starts it off in the setting of summer night in Harlem. Too hot to sleep, too cold to heat. I don't care if I die or not. What a way to kick off your debut solo record. And I'd be curious to hear the other song that was kind of a precursor to this some years prior that I mentioned in the intro, to hear how different the two tracks were. Anyways, I digress. All that to say, man, really dug this one. I thought the lyrics as well, kind of it touched on the mean old landlord. He also those switches and says, okay, Saturday nights, it's time to have some fun. Sunday morning comes, you have the good people that are going to church, presumably dressed up, and all the hip folks getting home from the party. So I thought that was nice. He notes the crooked delegation that wants a donation to send the preacher to the Holy Land. Honey, don't give your money to that lying, cheating man. I thought that was quite poignant as well. And it kind of reminds me, there was a documentary documentary that just came out on Hulu this past year called The Summer of Soul, about a music festival that happened, I believe it was 1969 in Harlem, actually. So kind of in that same time frame, and that did a good job of kind of putting the setting of what Harlem was at that time for someone who obviously didn't experience it. And thus, Bill, I think it's a good kind of history lesson on top of being a great song. But all that to say, man, dug that one, and I already know I dig this next one. Aint No Sunshine, sitting at over 400 million streams here on Spotify. So Wither's most famous track on Spotify, at least. This features Donald Duck Dunn on bass guitar, Al Jackson Jr. on drums, and Stephen Stills on guitar. It was a single becoming his breakthrough hit, went to number 6 on the U.S. R&B chart and 3 on the Billboard Top 100 chart. It was ranked as the number 23 song for 71 on the Billboard chart, and it reached the top 40 again in 2009 when it was sung by Chris Allen in the 8th season of American Idol. Shows you the pull that American Idol had back in the day, man. It won the Grammy for Best R&B Song in 72 and is 285th on Rolling Stone's Top 500 Songs of All Time. It was originally released as a B-side to the song we just heard, Harlem. It was preferred, though, by DJs, and it became a huge hit. Withers was inspired to write the song after watching the 1962 movie Days of Wine and Roses. He explained in reference to the characters played by Lee Remick and Jack Lemmon, quote, "They were both alcoholics who were alternatively weak and strong. It's like going back for seconds on rat poison. Sometimes you miss things that weren't particularly good for you. It's just something that crossed my mind from watching that movie, and probably something else that happened in my life that I'm not aware of." For the song's third verse, Withers had intended to write more lyrics instead of repeating the phrase "I know" 26 times, but then followed the advice of other musicians to leave it that way. Quote, "I was this factory worker puttering around, so when they said to leave it like that, I left it." Withers, then 31, was working at a factory making bathrooms for 747s at the time he wrote the song. When the song went gold, the record company presented him with a golden toilet seat, marking the start of his new career. It was his first of 3 gold records here in the States. I know that was a big, kind of write-up, but it's such an important and great song. I think it deserved it, man. So it's only 2 minutes as well, as a lot of these songs are, short and sweet to the point. So let's enjoy this one. The legendary Aint No Sunshine just starts right off with the lyrics, which I think is great because, you just dive right into the song. So much packed into just 2 minutes. And I think Bill, he fits the emotion of the song in that vocal delivery. You can tell that there's some melancholy in his voice there, and because why there ain't no sunshine when she's gone. When his girl is away, man, it's only darkness, and this house just ain't no home anytime she goes away. I think it's really cool in that third verse. The I know, just almost like a percussive instrument. His voice there in itself. Shout out to Al Jackson on the drums. And Stephen Stills on the guitar. All the instrumentation was so well done. Again, had that orchestral arrangement in there as well. And I think it's great how Withers was able to get the guys from Booker T and the MGs on top of Stills here, get some heavy duty musicians to get on your debut record. They obviously saw the talent in Bill, and we're not wrong in that assumption, man. What else can I say about this song, man? It's absolutely legendary. If you don't like this track, man, I'd question your musical judgment, I guess, to put it nicely. And to come out with Harlem and then this 1-2 punch on this record, off to a tremendous start right here. Just a legendary song. We're going to go now to Grandma's Hands, another song that's only 2 minutes long here. So that's what I like sometimes, too, about these older records. This record's 35.5 minutes, 12 songs. So, they kind of keep the pace going, and I dig that. But this song was written, of course, about his grandmother. Single went to 18 on the best-selling soul singles chart and 42 on the Hot 100. And it featured, yet again, Al Jackson Jr. and Duck Dunn from Booker T and the MGs. Withers' maternal grandfather had been born into slavery. In his youth, Withers attended church with his maternal grandmother, Lula, where she would sing and clap along with the hymns. He later said, quote, "It was spontaneous singing. There was nothing programmed. People got up and sang, and everybody would join in. It was my favorite kind of singing." All right, Grandma's Hands, another one I gotta give the heart treatment, man. And it seemed as soon as it started, it was over, man. Definitely left me wanting more. When the beat dropped, really too, kind of halfway through, and that rhythm really got in that groove. That maybe this is tough to say. It's my favorite rhythm section thus far because I mean, Ain't No Sunshine so great too. But it's just fantastic musicianship yet again. I'm a broken record on that, and yet again, just Bill has such a soulful voice that you can't help but want to hang on the words that he's saying, man. And here, it just really paints a great picture of his grandmother, of growing up, talking about that church experience, man. Quotes she would say, "Billy, don't you run so fast. Might fall on a piece of glass. Might be snakes there in that grass." Grandma's hands. And there's no traditional like chorus or anything either, so we just keep he keeps firing away these lyrics that obviously had a lot of deep meaning for Bill, but you could also think of your own grandparents and maybe the good memories that you hopefully have with them. And at the end, it all kind of turns. He knows how his grandma would defend Bill and say, "Hey man, don't you whip him, this or that," but he says, "I don't have grandma anymore. If I get to heaven, I'll look for grandma's hands." And then he finishes with the enunciations. It all worked really well. Yet again, man. And I mean, this record's off to a fantastic start. And now we're gonna go to Sweet Winomi. Hopefully, I'm pronouncing that right. And I don't have any research on this jam, so let's hear what we got. All right, Sweet Winomi, Resting in My Arms. A very pretty song. I'm actually filming this on Valentine's Day, man. So yeah, I could feel the love in this track, and I think you can interpret it either as a romantic love interest, or even with some of the lines in here, possibly even like a child. The soft light, her eyes are gleaming, pretty little hand covers up her mouth when she yawns. Sweet Winomi, resting in my arms. In any case, obviously Bill showing the love here for old Sweet Winomi, and I thought the instrumental highlight here was those keys, man. Especially kind of about a minute and a half through the song. Really, we had a bit of an instrumental section and break there, where you could really just kind of feel that that rhythm, the R&B soul kind of a fusion, whatever you want to call it, man. And we could have just ridden that out to the very end. But Bill did another really strong job of this, and I like the varied subject matter that we've had 4 songs in. So now we're going to go to Everybody's Talking, which has a bit of an interesting history in and of itself as well. It was originally written and recorded by a bit of an underrated singer-songwriter, Fred Neil, in 1966, and was released 2 years later. A version of the song performed by another great American singer-songwriter, Harry Nilsson, became a hit in 1969, reaching 6 on the chart, and won a Grammy after it was featured in the film Midnight Cowboy, which I believe won Best Picture as well. I watched that movie recently, fantastic. So if you haven't seen it, hey, check it out. The song, which describes the singer's desire to retreat from the harshness of the city to a more peaceful place and an easier life, is among the most famous works of both artists and has been covered by many other notable performers. In a 2006 article in the New York Times, it characterized the song as a landmark of the classic rock era, and it's continued to be popular throughout the years. Through 2005, according to figures from the Broadcast Music Incorporated, the song had aired on radio and television 6.7 million times, and it was also named as number 20 in the top 100 movie songs of all time from the American Film Institute. So excited to hear Bill's version here. Never heard his version, so let's check it out. All right, the iconic Everybody's Talking. I thought Bill did a great job. It's been a little bit since I've heard Harry Nilsson's version, and I don't know if I've ever actually heard Fred Neil's version, but that would be a fun song battle for down the road comparing the 3. But yet again, Bill's voice has impressed me up to this point. It's it just got just got that kind of gravitas to it, and fits the beautiful bass line that we had in there. And since he does have a bit of a deeper register, it really does fit well, I think, with the rhythm section that we have on all of these tracks right here, man. But yeah, bass work was really the highlight for me on this song, instrumentally. And again, it kind of fits that almost that timeless quality where no matter what city you're in, you can maybe apply it to your own self. Though, oh, everybody's talking at me, I don't hear a word they're saying, only the echoes of my mind. People stop staring at me, I don't even see their faces, only the shadows of their eyes. And then he kind of talks about just the scenery where he's at and kind of where he wants to go, where his eyes are looking forward down the road. That refrain, that why, just almost like Ain't No Sunshines, I know. Bill's got a talent of just saying a word or two and yet making it sound catchy enough, even if he's just repeating that same refrain. And I think this song had that too, man. So I dug that one, man. And we're gonna finish off this A side here with the track "Do It Good." So let's hear what we got. "Do It Good," one of the catchiest refrains we've had on this record so far, man. Where we started off with the harmonies of "Do It Good," ended as well, and Booker T killing it as always on the keyboards right here. And I like the little almost spoken word middle section life advice that we got from Mr. Withers here. He's like, hey, if you read the album cover by now, you know that my name is what my name is. When I came in here to try and do this, something I've never done before, Mr. Jones, Booker T, said to me, don't worry about it and just do what you do. And do it good. I mean, it's simple advice, people, but whatever you do, just try to do it good, man. And I thought that the harmonizing too, whenever they all hit the "do it good" line, it was just really pretty. And guitar work, it's interesting because obviously this is a soul flavored record, but also a lot of folk elements to this as well, especially in that guitar work. And I felt that on this, and it's kind of cool whenever you have two genres you don't know how they blend together, and then you hear it and it comes across so well. So really strong A side right here. And now we're gonna transverse into the B side as we go to "Hope She'll Be Happier," which is one of the longest cuts on this record at nearly 4 minutes. So let's hear what we got. Wow, "Hope She'll Be Happier," another one, gotta add the heart. It seems like this could have been a B-side to "Ain't No Sunshine." I wonder if Bill wrote, he was in his fields when he was writing both of those, man. And wow, this song really did impress me. A bit longer, so slower, a bit more drawn out, less focus on the rhythm section. I think that it was just kind of that guitar chord just going throughout the entire song, kind of driving it forward. Bill's vocals were fantastic on this song, especially the line "but she's gone," and he held that note for forever. It seemed like one of the best moments on the record up to this point, in my opinion. And just quite enjoyed the lyricism. Gets to the heart of that. I'm down and out, and my heart is broken, but I wish the best. He's still, at the end of the day, he must really love her, because she knows. But in my heart there is a shower. I hope she'll be happier with him. It's maybe the darkness of the hour makes me seem lonelier than I am, but over the darkness I have no power. Hope she'll be happier with him. I can't believe that she don't want to see me. We lived and loved with each other so long. I never thought she really would leave me, but she's gone. Just whenever you get a nice heartbreak song, man, doesn't matter what genre, what era it is, I think it'll always resonate with people, and I think this song is no different. So what a way to kick off this B-side right here. And now we're going to go to a cover of "Let It Be" by the Beatles, of course. I feel I've heard Bill's version before, but I'm not overly familiar with it. And, it is an iconic Beatles jam. Has had a lot of great covers throughout the years. So let's hear what Bill has for us. Right, "Let It Be." Honestly, man, don't recall that cover at all, because I feel I definitely would have remembered it. And what I like, especially when you're doing a Beatles cover, man, so tough to compare to those originals. But when the best ones are the ones that like this, like what Withers just did, where he really made it his own. It was an entirely redone, reworked arrangement, of course, and it doesn't hurt when you have Booker T hitting that organ, man, and obviously the gospel flavored music was a huge influence on this, and when you got the hand claps going in, man, it was almost had a bit of a spiritual component to it, which I thought was cool, and I thought the cadence and delivery of the lyrics from Bill were nicely done as well, and yeah, man, really impressed with this cover. It's tough to cover such a titan of a track, especially so shortly, only a year after the original had come out from the Beatles. But Withers absolutely crushed it, man, and I wish we had a little bit more of that now in our current day musical landscape, where you look back to the 60s and 70s, and these artists would cover songs just a year or two after they would come out. Nowadays, you don't really find that too often for some reason. But all that to say, really good track. And now we're going to I'm Her Daddy. So let's hear what we got here. Wow. I'm Her Daddy. Whew, what a story this one was, ladies and gentlemen. It starts off very quiet, stripped back, almost Withers whispering before then, once we get into the first, I guess, proper, chorus, verse, whatever you want to call it. 6 years, Lucy, Lord have mercy. That's a long time. That guitar really ramps up. The percussion was really strong on this song as well. Gave a unique texture. I thought almost sounded like some bongos or whatever the case was, man. But here you essentially have a guy figuring out that he has a daughter, Lucy, who's now 6 years old, and he's never met her, not been involved in her life. And he asked these questions. Does she sleep well in a room of her own? Can I see her? Does she know that I'm her daddy? Did you give her one of my pictures? Did she show the babysitter and say, see, that man, that's my daddy, that's my daddy? You should have told me, Lucy. You should have told me. He's telling, obviously, the mother of this child, you should have told me. I would have been there, been involved, because 6 years, man, goes quick, and those are obviously big time years to miss right there. And so you really just get into that melancholy and that pain in that vocal delivery from Withers here, just really on point. So now we're going to go to the longest song on this record. We have In My Heart at 4 minutes 19 seconds. Let's hear what we got. Right, In My Heart, bringing it the folkiest song on this record so far. As I've been harping on the great percussion, bass work, or keyboards from Booker T. That was all taken away on this song, and you just had that acoustic guitar here and Bill's voice. And because of that, I think it showcased the range of Withers' voice better than any song that we've had up to this point. Even if I might land on the opinion that this is maybe my least favorite track on first listen here, at least, there's still some great moments vocally that Withers has, and still some really strong lyrics as well, essentially harping on the idea of again, a love that's not there, and being able to recall those good memories, those images in your mind, where he keeps his dreams in his heart, rather, where he keeps those dreams and keeps those special things close to him, so to speak, man. So now we only have 2 songs left. This album is one that definitely flies on by. As we go now to Moanin' and Groanin', just based on the title, I feel Bill's gonna be in that heartbroken spot again. So let's see if I'm right or not. Moanin' and Groanin', I was wrong, ladies and gentlemen. Bill wasn't negatively moaning and groaning about his broken heart. He was on that positive moaning and groaning for all the good loving that his woman was giving him, man. Instrumentally, we had that tambourine kind of just interplaying with the guitar, and we had a lot of layered vocals as well here on Withers' part. So some cool, like, self-harmonizing, I guess you could say, if that's even a word, that we had on this tune right there. Again, might be towards the bottom tier for me on songs on this album, but that just shows how strong this record is, because this isn't a bad song by any means either. It's just when you have the good quality that the rest of this record has. It's tough. It's tough to crack at that top spot. And now we're gonna go to Better Off Dead, which I'm who knows. This doesn't feel like it'll end on a cheery note, but hey, I was wrong in the last one. Let's hear what we got here, and then at the end, I will give my favorite tracks and overall score to Just As I Am. Wow, what a powerful and dark way to end this record. Better Off Dead. Definitely gonna eke into my favorite tracks here at the end. A late entrant, to be sure. And yet again, what a story told in just around 2 minutes right here. Again, we kind of ramp up kind of the bass line and some of the more traditional instrumentation that we had on that first side, so to speak. And man, the story here though was powerful. Obviously, we have a guy here that had quite the drinking problem, and he mentions everything in here from how his wife was there sticking by him, brought the priest over, cried to her friend until the telephone line got cut off, and she would also cry whenever he would leave and pawn all the stuff, and at the end of the day that forced her and the kids to leave. And now he's recognizing that, hey, or believes that I'd be better off dead without her, and he says that I'm not man enough to live alone. And then at the end, man, really powerful. Hey, she's better off without me, and I'm better off dead. And then it just trails off to normally he said now when she's gone, but then we just hear the gunshot, and that's the last thing that we hear on the record, man. So for an album that did have some really great instrumentation that made you want to get up and groove at times. It was a pretty dark record at numerous spots here with heartbreak and substances, and I'm impressed with the breadth of the subject matter that Mr. Withers was able to pull off here. So great way to end this album off, and I guess that'll take me now to my favorite tracks. Man, I hearted 9 of the 12 songs, which on first listen is really high for me, man. So in no particular order, of course, I gotta say Ain't No Sunshine. I thought Harlem was a great way to start the album off. Grandma's Hands was a great tribute to his grandmother, and I enjoyed kind of the gospel type of a nature that song had. I think that Hope She'll Be Happy, or one of the more underrated songs on here, possibly. As I said, could have been a good B-side to Ain't No Sunshine. I thought his version of Let It Be was fantastic, and of course, Better Off Dead is also gonna make my favorites, which I guess will now take me just to overall score and thoughts. I'm gonna be coming in really hot on this one, man. An 8.5 for me on first listen. I can see that eking up even a little bit more. As I said, there was only 3 songs I didn't add the heart to, and even those had merit to them in different at different points, like In My Heart, which showed off that vocal ability of Mr. Withers, man. I thought that he was great at showcasing the emotion that each song needed to have, and had a bit of a range in that regard as well, and voice just fit that instrumentation. Shout out to Booker T on the keyboards as well, crushing it throughout this record, and the guitar. You had the cameo from Stephen Stills, which was really nice. Al Jackson on the drum kit was crushing it throughout. You had some great harmonizing at different points, and multi-layered vocals, which I thought were a pleasant touch, and just being able to combine kind of the soul and the folk together. It kept the album fresh. As I noted, 12 songs, 36 minutes, man. It flew on by, so I'm feeling confident at an 8.5. One of the better albums I've listened to for a full reaction in quite some time. So cheers and shout out to my dude Brian, man, for bringing this one. I know you've been harping on it for a while. It did not disappoint. Please let me know your favorite tracks down below and your thoughts on this record and any other Bill Withers work I need to check out to come out with your debut like this, man. Absolutely fantastic. And rest in peace to Withers and all the session musicians that have passed on, man. They definitely left a great legacy for us to enjoy all these decades later. If you'd like to become a patron like Brian and have us react to a record or a song or support the channel in any way, you can check out our Patreon page, which is linked below, and will also be at the end screen, along with another video that you might like to check out. But I guess that will wrap it up from here today, man. Thanks so much for watching, and until next time, I will see ya.